Hey, friends, welcome to my live. I'm sorry about this lighting in here. I don't know if that's even going to help. I'll try and switch around this way. We are going to actually be doing something really, really different today. Hey, Mountain Grandma Tammy, welcome in. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Hey, Rudy, how are you? Welcome in. I am just trying something new today. I think we're going to have a great time and I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually on my phone today because my laptop is something that I will be needing during the live. So can you do me a favor and hit a thumbs up? Let's get this shared out. Um, and so we can gather some more people in. I'll be right back, friends. I'm still here. I just need to go do something really quick. I want to be able to share this out as well. So, which that's not going to work on that one. So that's okay. So yeah, we'll wait for some more people to show up. Sorry about that. I hope everybody's having a great day. If I looked outside, I would say it is the perfect fall day. It is nice and cloudy and overcast. It's rain today. But when you step outside, let me tell you, it is so humid out that you just don't even want to be outside. I need to grab my apron really quick. So yeah, today we are going to be talking about apples, apples, apples. And I cannot wait to share so much with you. Hey, Tell Us Treasures, thanks for showing up. Welcome in. So yeah, so we are apples, apples, apples today. And I cannot wait to start talking about the apples and things that I found and things that we're going to be doing. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm just getting my gear on right now. And I thought it would be really fun today to actually come on live and actually do a cooking segment. But I'm going to keep talking while I wait for the people to show up. I'm sure there'll be a couple more. I'm thankful though, because I am on my phone and I'm able to use my, I can see the comments here. But if I'm unable to, friends, can you just, let me know if there's a question or something there? I'd appreciate that. So yeah, so I'm just waiting for a few more friends. What have you all been doing today? So whoever's here, I'm gonna go turn off the light real quick. I don't know if that's gonna be better or not. It will be dependent on when I flip around here to see what it's like. So yeah, tell me what you've been doing today. Anything special? Thank you, Tell Us Treasure, for putting up that link. I appreciate it. So I had an appointment early this morning, and then I stopped at Aldi. Oh, let me show you what I found at Aldi. It's so cute. I'm actually going to be baking tomorrow and Friday. One will be for the fair that's coming up, and then I will be baking for the farmers market that I do on Saturday here in my town. Yeah. Oh, well, gosh, you've been busy, Tell Us Treasures. I'm glad you could make it in. Let me show you the cute mold I found. After my appointment, hubby and I stopped at Aldi. And if anybody has an Aldi, hey, Echo, welcome in. We are going to have a great day. It's apples, apples, apples. Hopefully we'll get some more people in here. But yeah, Aldi has those aisles of Aldi finds, things you really don't need, but you're like, oh, that's really cute. I found the cutest set of glasses that were so retro to the 70s. And I thought, oh, I want those, but I left them there. Hey, Adventures in Gardening, welcome in. Thanks for being here. But look at this mold. I found this mold. Isn't that the cutest? I don't do Halloween, but that's okay. So yeah, and it's pretty deep. So I think this will be cute. I think I'm going to do my pumpkin bread in here. and maybe some chocolate chip pumpkin bread I will put in here. And we'll wrap those up. I'll try and sell them at the market, and then I'll have them at the fair this weekend to sell. I want to show you what else I've been doing this week. It's been a busy week. Last week I was up in Lancaster, and I stopped at one of the farms that I go to and was able to purchase 2 boxes of tomatoes. I don't know if it's a bushel. I don't know. I think it's 25 plus pounds of tomatoes. So thank you, Echo. I know, Sherry, go get one. They were only $4.99. Aren't those cute? I can't help myself, guys. And I don't do Halloween, but I just thought those were cute, right? For the little kiddos, because the little kiddos do it. I used to do Halloween. I just don't do Halloween anymore. And I don't judge those who do it. I used to love the day. I just don't anymore. But here's the thing. So this week I've been canning. I'm going to take you down. I want to show you what I've been doing. Whoops. Let me see. Can you see that okay? We are getting rid of my door this weekend. So this is everything that I have canned this week. I have 3 jars of a vegetable soup base. So this is just, actually, I did what Jessica over at Three Rivers does. I just took frozen vegetables and my tomatoes that I had processed down and just poured the tomato juice over this. And I processed these for about 85 minutes in my pressure canner. Then over here, I did 8 pints of enchilada sauce. So I did that. And then I did 7. I did 7 quarts of just pure tomato juice, tomato sauce. So I can turn this into whatever I need it for. If I'm doing pasta or I need to add it to a soup or something. Thank you for sharing, Echo. I appreciate it. And then my favorite of all time is the chili base. I canned like 8 quarts of chili base to go down to my food storage. And it took me, let's see, it took me about, I'm going to say this. I threw them in my, my big roaster pan. I think it's like 16 quart, 20 quart roaster. And I threw those in there Sunday and just let them go all night long on low. And then I started Monday. I got them all soft and processed. And I don't know what time it was. I just said, I'm done. Let's just, thank you. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Cher. I just said, you know what? I'm done. I put it in a big pot that I have along with some Pyrex bowls. And I put the rest of it in my refrigerator. And I said, I'm going to deal with you tomorrow. And so yesterday I pulled all that out and then finished the processing yesterday, which was the tomato. I didn't know what to do with, I had all the tomato juice left. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this? And I said, you know what? We're going to keep this simple. We're going to just do some lemon juice in here and we're going to can them up in tomato juice and be done with it. And then I'll turn it in, like I said, to whatever, I'm looking to do. So I'm really pleased that I got that done. I'm still not done canning. I do plan to can some more applesauce. I'm out. And some more potatoes. I'm completely out of potatoes. And with that, I'm going to actually do a little different with my canning book that I have. I'm going to make flavored potatoes, but they were a really big hit. It's just me and my husband and our one son. And it would made for easy meals when you can just go and open them up and dump them in. So with that being said, I need to grab my notebook here. And I want to let you know, friends, that I have a blog that I had started years ago for my book review page. And I've converted part of that into my life in the Piedmont. And so what I do over there is what I'm talking about today, I'm actually will be posting over there. So don't feel that you need to hurry up and like write everything down that I'm going to talk to you. If you want this information and the list that I've created, then you can go over to my blog and I will, I don't know, share, because I know Tam's working. Can you go up and find the Miss Tina's Amish book review? It's a blog. Yeah, I think it's Miss Tina's Amish book review. It's a blog. If you can get that and get the link and then post it in here, that would be great, because that's the blog that I'm currently using right now to post recipes and videos. Like if you happen to, you know, just for people who may stumble across the blog, it's not that big of a deal. My husband will be building me a website where all this is going to be going, the things that I want to do with my channel and the direction that I want to take it in. So he'll be able to do that for me and build that up. So apples. I was going to give this huge history about apples. I'm going to see if there's no, okay. But I did not. I thought about my elementary school days, the whole Johnny Appleseed. Remember, it was always fun to do that in school with the kids. And I thought, you know what, let's talk about apples. Let's talk about the different varieties of apples. What are the best apples to use when baking? What are the best apples to use for storage, for making apple cider? There's a lot of different types of apples out there. And again, the list that I've created is going to be on that blog, and I will share that with you. So my first, the best apples to bake with. There's about 4 or 5 different apples that one should use when baking. Granny Smith, Golden Delicious, Honeycrisp, Cortland, Empire, and Jonathan. Those are the apples that are suggested that you use when baking. I can tell you this. I have used Granny Smith, Golden Delicious, or a variety thereof, and Honeycrisp. And I have to tell you, even the Jonathan I think I've used, they are some of the best apples I've ever used. I don't know anything about Empire apples or Cortland apples, and I don't know if that could be in like a different area than where I'm at, in the zone that I'm at, but really, really great. So if you like to bake with apples, I would suggest any one of those or a combination of those. Don't let yourself be limited just to one apple. You can mix the apples up, and I'll even talk about that as we get into apple cider and making our own apple cider. So what I've also learned is that when you want to make apple cider, thank you, Cher, I appreciate it. When you're making apple cider, you want to try and use 3 different types of apples when you are making the apple cider, because when you use the 3 different blends, you're going to get the best sweetness, bitterness, and sharp flavors that an apple cider can give. So just keep that in mind when you're making an apple cider. And here are those apples. If you want to make your own apple cider, pick 3 of these and try to make a small batch of apple cider. It is Gala, Fuji, McIntosh, Cortland, and Honeycrisp. And I love the Fuji apple. It is one of my favorite apples just to eat raw. I think it's absolutely delicious. So yeah. So those are some really great apples to make apple cider with. But I want to get going. Before I go over the rest of my list, I want to get going on what we're doing today. I don't want to let the day get away from us and not get this done, because this is going to take a little while. And if people trickle in, then the people trickle in, and that's good. I am going to spin you around. So if you didn't know, friends, I am in my kitchen. And because it's all things apples today, we are actually going to be making a apple cranberry crisp. One great way to clean out my freezer, I have a ton of cranberries from last year that I froze that need to be used. And I thought, this is going to be fun. Let's do a live, instead of just chit-chatting all the time. I want to be active, and I want to show you what we're going to do. So I'm going to be going back and forth between what I'm making and just the recipe that I found And I will link the recipe as well if you want it over on the blog that Cher from Tell Treasure put up there. All this information will be listed over there for you if you choose to make it and want to print it out. So let me get you turned around here. I even cleaned my kitchen up and got all the dishes put away. I hate doing dishes. I despise doing dishes, friends. So I don't know if you can see that, but here's what we're going to start with, okay? I have 2 tablespoons of orange juice. I measured out 2 cups of cranberries. I have rolled oats. I have a stick of butter that has been softened. I have ground cinnamon. I also have some flour. I have sugar and brown sugar here. And we're going to get going on the apples. So today I actually went to the store and purchased apples. And I thought this was truly something I decided to do about 2 hours, 3 hours prior to washing the apples up to the live. And so one of the reasons why I stopped at Aldi today, because it was over where I was at. I had an appointment and thought, let's just go. So what I'm gonna do is just peel the apples. It's basically a sink bin, and I use it when I'm in my kitchen doing dishes. I fill one side up with clean water, one side up with soapy water, and it helps me get my dishes done so I'm not letting water run. Do you do dishes still by hand? Let me know if you do. So I'm just peeling the apples. I could probably do this a lot faster if I got my apple corer out, which I might do, friends, because I'm not going to sit here and peel all these apples. So basically what I'm going to need to do is I need approximately 8 cups of apple slices. So you can slice those up any way you choose to. I'm just going to slice them like this. Oh, but you know what I forgot to do is preheat my oven. So before I go any further, I'm going to preheat my oven to 375. So I'm going to get that going. I just thought this would be really fun. Tell me if this is something that you like, an actual live cooking, baking episode that I do. I thought I'd try and see what you guys thought. And be honest. Be honest. You're not going to hurt my feelings. But I think to make this go a lot faster, I'm going to get my other apple filler out. I'm not going to sit here and do this. That's why they invented all these gadgets, right? To make our life a little easier in the kitchen, right? So I'm going to grab that out. And we're going to get these sliced up a lot faster. If you don't have one of these, then I highly recommend that you go purchase yourself one. It is worth the money. They're not that expensive. And I love every bit of it. One of the things too, when you're working with apples, they tend to go brown on you. So a little bit of lemon juice is always helpful. And then just toss it up in there. So basically all I'm doing is putting that through the hole, the stem through the hole. And then you just push down. And look, you have a beautiful sliced apple. See? Isn't that great? And then what you can do is you can actually save the cores and the skins. And you can put that in a mason jar. And you can put some vinegar in it. I think that's the way it's done. And you can make your own apple scrap vinegar. So, which is something, I have apples in my refrigerator or my freezer. And I'm waiting to get enough collected. So I can make my own apple scrap vinegar. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And you can use that vinegar for like salad dressings and different things like that. Or it doesn't have the acidity, acidity, is that it? The acid level that you would need in canning. So you can't use it for canning. But you can use the scraps of all the apples and the cores with zero problem. So yeah, now I'll just sit there and slice. And I think I'll talk to you. You don't need to watch my hands. So fall is not here yet, but it is around the corner. And there's so many great things to fall. Apples is just one of them. Pumpkins is another. And if you didn't know, I actually did a poll. And if you were part of that poll and voted, I wanted to know whether or not, when you think of fall, do you think of apple or do you think of pumpkin? And again, the overwhelming response was apple, which is one of the reasons why I chose to go ahead and talk about apples and everything and make something apple-y. I think it'll be really good. And what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to slice these apples down just a little bit thinner so they don't take too long to bake in the oven. And I did, like I said, I did turn my oven on. It's 375. And you're supposed to have a 9x13 pan. But personally, friends, I like my apple crisp a little thicker, like a little thicker with the apples. And so I got, I'm not really sure what size this is, but it's one of my thrifted casserole dishes. And I said, well, I'm just going to use a small one. There's only 3 of us here. Hey, Kristen, Bell and Whisper Farm, welcome in. Thanks for being here. If you, I'm doing a live cooking right now because it's all about apples, and we are making an apple cranberry crisp. So right now I'm just peeling the apples up and chatting about it. So I do not have vanilla ice cream to go with this. We don't need the ice cream. I think the crisp is just enough for the family. And we'll have just a nice fall little dessert. Now, is there a favorite dessert that you like during fall? Or is there something that you make during the fall time that you just, because it's fall season, you can't wait and it's really the only time of the year that you ever do it? Let me know in the comments. I know here in my house, my pumpkin bread is the one that I have to have all the time, like especially during Thanksgiving, because if I don't, then people kind of get upset over that. It was a staple at Thanksgiving. It came from my grandmother, the recipe, and so I just kind of took it and went with it and just started making it. So I will be baking that up tomorrow. Hopefully I have enough pumpkin downstairs in my pantry that I can pull up and use. I was going to do mini loaf pans for the market on Saturday and for the fair, but then when I came across those, I thought, okay, we've got to try this. This is going to be really cute. So if you don't know, I do a farmer's market on Saturday mornings, and I make pretzels and hot soft pretzels, and I do apple cider donuts. Pumpkin donuts are in right now, glazed donuts, and an old-fashioned sour cream donut dipped in glaze. I make the glaze myself, and I use my homemade vanilla, which I'm going to need to order some more vanilla beans because I'm going to run low on vanilla, and it takes about a year. I let mine sit for over a year before I opened it up and started using it. So just keep that in mind. I have a video on that. But basically, you just take whole vanilla beans, you slice them open, and then you drop them in a bottle of vodka. I separated my out. If you're doing a whole bottle of vodka, you need more than 10. So I would do 20 to 50. And you can put it in just vodka. It doesn't have to be an expensive vodka. You can even do a spiced rum if you want, like a Captain Morgan's, and put the vanilla beans in that. And they make really great gifts. I showed a video on that last year. I did a collab on gifts from the kitchen. This year we're going to call it Gifts from the Home. And if you want to be a part of that collab, if you make your own gifts and want to be a part of that collaboration, please feel free to email me at tina@lifeinthepiedmont.com. I can't get my email up here because I'm on my phone right now doing the live. So I was trying to figure out what was the best way to do the live today. So we talked about the apples for making applesauce. We're talking about apples that are the best to use for making apple cider. And if you missed any of this, I'll do a quick little repeat. You want 3 different types of apples if you're making apple cider. The 3 different types will help bring out the bitterness, the sweetness, and the, what did I say? Bitterness, sweetness, and the, what was it? Can somebody help me out? Because my brain is not working. The sharpness of the cider. And you can drink it warm or you can refrigerate it. You choose to do however you like. But I just think being able to make your own cider is really a great thing. I don't know how many cups of apples. The recipe calls for 8 cups, guys. I probably have 2 cups of apples here, to be honest with you. So I think what I'm going to do, for the sake of time, I think I'm going to actually half the recipe just for the sake of time. Because I don't want to sit here and have to fill all these apples up. So, yeah. So, and I just want to thank all of you who continue to be faithful on my channel and show up. And comment, watch my videos. I really appreciate it. Who share out. It's really helpful to my channel. And of course, guys, it's stuck. Because, of course, it's going to stick because I'm doing this live, right? I really appreciate each and every one of you that support me. So I am going to put, I said already, I'm going to take these cores and I'm going to save them and put them in my freezer. And I will make apple scrap vinegar. I've been wanting to do that for a while and just haven't done it. So what is your favorite thing about fall? I can't see. Did you tell me what your favorite thing is? Okay, here's another thing. For those of you who live in and around Amish or Mennonite stores, you must go buy one of these paring knives, okay? Do you see how it curves? They're made by Rada. And I'm telling you right now, friends, it is the best little paring knife I've ever had, and oh so sharp. It makes paring and slicing like I'm doing now so easy. So easy. So yeah, tell me, what is your favorite cooler temps? Yes, Bella, I agree. I don't know about you, Kristen, but if you were to look outside, you would go, oh, how nice. Oh, it is so humid here. We got rain. Cooler temps and Halloween tell us treasure. The first day of fall will be 96. Oh, I don't miss those days. I truly just don't. You know? You get tired of the heat after a while, don't you? Hey, Wills, how are you? And Halloween too. Nice. Yeah. If you guys haven't followed Wills yet, you know, you might want to go see her. She just put a video up of an unboxing of Temu. Some pretty cool stuff. I used to order from Temu. And then I just got away from it. I don't know. Did I miss anybody that's come in? Yeah. Oh, good. Everybody's making friends. I like that. It's a great thing. So, does everybody, do you get trick-or-treaters? How many of you get trick-or-treaters? We do not get any where we live, and I'm very happy about that. I really am. I know that's terrible, but Tella's Treasure says she gets tons of trick-or-treaters. So isn't that right, Tella's Treasures? Yeah, I know, same here. So Tella's Treasures, where she lives in a community where they actually have competitions in the neighborhood about decorating, and there's different categories. Isn't that right? And Tella Treasure, didn't you win one year for like kid friendly? So her and her husband, they start now. They start literally in August making things, if not sooner, if it's not hot to be out in the garage. But they start making stuff and going to buy stuff. I mean, the minute the Halloween store opens up, my oven is preheated. They're out there. So yeah. So they're going to enter again this year, right? Tell us, Treasure, you're going to do it again. So here's the one thing about slicing. It hurts my hands. I'm not going to lie. I can only keep my hands curled for a long period, not a very long period of time anymore like I used to. So I have 1 second. Oops. I have I just get really bad sharp pains that shoot through my hands, especially one finger. So Will says, it's okay. Thanks, Tina. Yes, we get trick-or-treaters. I decorate my house. I dress up my home, and it is on Halloween trail. So parents bring kids around. I sit in my wheelchair for 2 hours greeting them. That's awesome. That's awesome. I know growing up as a kid, our neighborhood where we grew up, I mean, everybody would go out. And then when I had my own children, we would always go down to the neighborhood that I was raised in, and people realized what a great neighborhood it was, and people started busing people in to make to take them trick-or-treating. And there were some spooky homes, and there were, for the most part, we knew all the people, we knew the homes to go to, so the kids wouldn't get too scared. But yeah, it was fun times. It was fun times, but not no more. The church I used to go to out here, they always did a trunk or treat, and it was fun. Some people may say, oh, it's a pagan holiday. You know what? You got to choose and pick your battles, right? If it keeps kids safe and it's a safe environment, then so be it, And it was a lot of fun to see the little kids, come with their little costumes, and you're out at your car and you're supposed to decorate, the trunk and all that. And it was fun, but we don't do that anymore. My husband's never been one for Halloween. So, and that's okay. I'm okay with not doing Halloween. So, yeah. So anyhow, so to this, when I'm almost finished, like I said, I think I'm just going to half this recipe to make the time go by a little bit faster here. What time is it? I don't even know. Ah, are you kidding? Can you guys still hear me? Sorry about that, friends. That was an accident. A reminder came through as a text message and I went to clear it and it took me off. So I do apologize. So yeah. So who do we have in the chat? Have I missed anybody that I'm not seeing? And if you haven't, can you give me a thumbs up and share this live out on your community tab or with a friend or wherever you share out? That would be great. It always helps my channel out. So, all right, this is my last one. I'm going to go with it, guys. I will adjust the recipe. Here's the one thing about recipes that I'm pretty decent with. I know baking, like if I'm baking a cake or if I'm baking a bread, I know that it has to be absolutely precise. Like I get that. But with this is an apple crisp and I don't feel like I need to be exactly precise on this. So I'm going to just kind of measure this out and see how many cups I have. So there's 1 cup, 2, 3, 4. So we got 5 cups. I needed 8, but we're going to stay with 5 cups. That's perfect. Like I said, I'll cut it in half. Okay. So let me get my recipe out, friends, because I am going to need to read it. So to my recipe, what I will need to do first, to this, we are going to take half of this because I'm going to cut this in half. So I'm going to do about a cup or so of cranberries. Do what works best for you. We love cranberries. So I'm going to bring you down. I'm going to bring you down so you can see what I'm doing here, okay? And then I'll bring you back up. So to this, I have my 5 cups of apples, about a cup or so of cranberries, and then this is 2 tablespoons of orange juice. I'm going to use just part of that because I measured it for the full. We're just going to put it all in. I don't think it's going to hurt it. And then I need to get my flour, which is right here. And then to this mixture, we are going to do about 1.5 tablespoons of flour. And then we are going to do about a half a cup of sugar. And I wanted just to show you, if you think the sugar is just different looking, this is just an organic sugar and it does have a different color. So, and it's coarser than your regular refined sugar. I'm going to do about a half a cup of sugar. And I am going to do about, it says about a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Sorry, I had to reach over. This brown sugar needs to be packed. Packing means that you put it in here and you just press down on it. Just like that. So I didn't do quite 1/4 cup because it is a half. I'm halving the recipe. And I need some cinnamon. Actually, what I'm going to use today is some allspice because you can use the allspice, you can use cinnamon, you can use, yeah, this has all the seasonings in it that the recipe calls for. So, and I did about a 1/2 teaspoon. I don't think it's going to hurt if you do more. And then to this, guys, I am just going to come in here and give it a good toss. We're just going to toss this around like this together. You know, I bet you this would be really tasty too during the holidays, right? Because of the cranberries. Why not? And you're going to coat these really, really well with the mixture we just put in here. So, all right. And that's what it's going to look like. So I'm going to set this aside, friends, and I'm going to wash my hands up, and we're going to make the topping for the crumble, which is really easy to make. I am going to take, I guess, where's my butter? So this is a half a cup. So it calls for 8 ounces. So a half a cup, what is that, like 4? I'm going to use 1 whole stick of butter. That's room temp. And then I'm going to use about a cup. It tells me to use about a cup to 1.5 cups. So I'm going to use a cup in here of oats. And then I'm going to use another half a cup or so of sugar. And then to that, we're going to get some more brown sugar together. And it calls for 3/4 of a cup, but I think I'm just going to use, because that's a lot of sugar, not quite a half, packed down. And put that in there. And then 1 1/4 cups of flour. And I think I will go ahead and just, I will do maybe 3/4 of a cup of flour. And we are going to stir this and combine this together. More with my hand because the butter's in here. So I need to get that in a crumble top here, which is going to make this come together. So I'm going to just keep, and we're going to have apple crisps together if we're still on the live. If not, but you'll get the gist. And then when I get all this put together, we're going to continue our talk about apples. So as you can see here, friends, I am just getting it together where it just crumbles. And that's what you're looking for, is a crumble. I think it's going to be delicious. I can already smell it. The flavors, the cinnamon, the orange juice, the brown sugar. It just makes your mouth water with all the flavors. So there we go. All right. Do you see how that's just come together? So I am going to now, I've really made a mess in my kitchen. Move that aside. And I'm going to get my baking dish back out. And the apples that we tossed. This is going to be a really thick one. I probably should have used another dish, but I'm not worried about it. Oh my gosh, friends. I wish you could smell this. Look at that. And I poured that in. And now we're just going to take our crumble and we're going to place it on top here, just like so. Now, if I did keep this whole, like a full recipe, I would definitely use a bigger casserole dish. Oh my goodness. I cannot wait for dessert. I think it's going to be perfect. Sorry for the noise. I have people home here working, and they do have to get up once in a while. All right, I'm going to wash my hands and we're going to pop this in the oven, and then we're going to go sit together and we're going to have some more chat time while this bakes in the oven. So let me get my hands washed. Oh, look at there. I forgot a couple of apples that I just found in the bowl. So we'll just stick them on top there. And then we're going to wipe around here just to make sure it's clean. And there it is. Does that not look delicious? I need to go turn on my other light. Let me get this put into the oven. And we are just going to let that bake now for the next, I don't know. We'll test it in just a little bit. I am going to leave my mess here because there's no reason to clean up with you're here with me. You're my guest, and I'm not going to clean up with my guest here. That just wouldn't be right. But what I will do is just cover just a couple of things because I do have a dog. And sometimes maybe she would like to come up here. And I would get very upset if she did that. So let's turn you around. And we're going to get you, whoops. We're going to get you in here. And I'm going to grab my notes and everything that we're talking about. And then that way we can have a chat. We'll chat more about apples. And I can relax and get off my feet for a little bit. All right, here we go. I'm going to put you right here. I'm going to come sit in my dining room right now. Just ignore my mess, friends. I'm working. I have an event coming up. And so I have really been trying to work and get some paperwork done. And I can't. It's kind of my area that I work, even though I have an office upstairs. Sometimes all my stuff is just here and it's just easier for me to just sit where I'm at. So have I missed anybody that's come in? I'm sorry if I had not. Let me go through. So I welcomed Intellis Treasures, Wills, Echo, Tammy, Kristen. So I think I think I have everybody. If I've missed you, I do apologize. So yes. Yeah, I don't have custard or anything, so that's okay today, right? So there, the crumble is done. It is 3, what time is it? I don't have, because I'm on my phone, I can't tell the time. It's 3:15. So if you have some extra time to hang out, let's hang out and let's talk about apples. All right, so I talked about the best apples to bake with. We'll review that in case there's some new people here. Granny Smith, Golden Delicious, Honeycrisp, Cortland, Empire, and Jonathan apples. Now, I have only used a few of those. Empire, I've never heard of that apple, to be honest with you, before, so I'm not sure, like I said, if it's a regional thing somewhere. I'm just not sure. We talked about using 3 different types of apples to use when you're making an apple cider. I'm going to list this recipe and I'm going to put it, I already have it all typed out, and I will put it on my blog that Intellis Treasures linked in here. Now, here's what we're going to talk about. Apples for applesauce. The best apples to use for applesauce would be Cortland, Johnny Gold, Fuji, and Granny Smith. So I've always used a Granny Smith apple and a Fuji apple. I haven't used anything else, and I love the texture and I love the flavor that both those apples provide when I make an applesauce. I don't sweeten my applesauce. Usually what I do when I serve it is I sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on top of that, and it is just delicious. I like to eat it with breakfast, with lunch, and I will pull it out at dinner time too and serve the applesauce with dinner as an extra side dish. So yeah, so Cortland, Johnny Gold, Fuji, and Granny Smith. Do you have a favorite apple? Do you like apples? What is your favorite apple that you like to eat if you have one? And is it apple season where you're at right now? Do you plan on going apple picking? Have you ever been apple picking is what I should ask. Have you been apple picking? I just excuse myself, friends, because I'm thirsty and I need to do a lot. I need to get some water. So we're going to have a drink of water and we're going to continue to talk about apples. You like the Red Delicious apples? I'm with you, Echo. I love Honeycrisp apples. And I'll give you a healthy way to eat Honeycrisp apples. They are perfect for a snack. And what I like to do is slice your apples up, and you'll get Golden Delicious and Granny Smiths. Those are great apples. My husband and son, they tend to lean towards the Granny Smith to eat raw. It's a little too tart for me, which is why they make great apples to bake with, right? So yeah. So here's a healthy recipe for you. If you take plain yogurt, okay, it has to be plain Greek yogurt. I don't do the non-fat. I don't do low fat, just plain Greek yogurt. And to that, you're going to add about, I don't know, like a teaspoon of honey, and then add some cinnamon in it. Like if you're doing just like a small little container, like so. Stir that up and use it to dip your apples in. And it is one, healthy, and two, absolutely delicious, that you will enjoy them as well. So there's my healthy dipping sauce that you can use for apples. And I promise you, if you like the tart apples, dipping it in there will just change those apples' flavor. It's really good. I love them. Excuse me, friends. All right, so here is a list of the best apples that you should eat raw. Number 1, Honeycrisp. I love Honeycrisp. I absolutely love Honeycrisp. Fuji. I mean, I love apples, right? So Fuji apples. Golden Delicious apples. Empire. Those are some of the best apples to eat raw. And I can tell you, Honeycrisp and Fuji are the best apples to use, aside from the Granny Smith. When the dipping sauce that I just gave you, that yogurt dipping sauce, those 2 apples are the best to use that recipe with that I just gave you. I think that you would really like it. Try it, tell us, treasures. I promise you, you won't be sorry. And not to mention, if you're using any type of local honey, that's even gonna give you a lot more health benefits as well, especially help you with any type of allergies that you may have. Okay, I'm just making sure that my mic continues to work, even though I charged it. I don't know how long it actually lasts. This is the best little mic I got off at Amazon, guys. I mean, it just, and this is I have to show you. This is my new apron. I got this today at Aldi. Is it not the cutest? I need to go back and get a couple more. They had a couple of them in different colors, and I can never turn down an apron. That's all I can say. And it's getting hot in my house because the oven's on. And I'm moving around. You're welcome for the tip. Hey, if you try that yogurt dip, let me know. I really want to know. So it is one of the things here where I live, and you guys have heard me talk about it before. I go up into PA. If I don't grow it, I can get it up there. My one Amish friend, he has a huge orchard. And so last year I got all my apples from him right off his farm. He doesn't spray, no pesticides or anything. And I made my applesauce, absolutely delicious. But there's a lot of different places to go to. But there is this one particular store called Kaufman's. They have their whole orchard. And this is where you can go and you can find apples like you've never heard of before, different varieties. And you go to their store and they have all these bins filled with apples, and they're so reasonably priced that you fill up a bag. I think like a bushel is probably under, I don't know, maybe $10, $15, which to me, that's really cheap. I know we've done the whole apple picking thing. I know what it costs to go to a farm and pick apples. And I get it, but it is a little pricey. You're the one doing all the work picking apples, right? So I'm hoping that when I'm up there, my next time up there, I will be bringing home some apples, because not only do I want to make applesauce this year, I actually want to do apple pie filling as well. So I have that on hand. This year I canned blueberry pie filling and cherry pie filling, and I have sour cherries that I need to can as well, and that will be pie filling. The the sour cherry pie filling. So I'm really excited about that. So aside from that, how do you like your apples? Do you eat them raw? Do you like caramel apples? Remember the caramel apple things that you could get in the store and you just wrap? Do you ever do that this time of the year? Do you make apple desserts at all? Excuse me while I take a drink. I probably should have muted that so you didn't have to hear me. Okay, so here I'm going to give you now a list of some of the best apples that you can use for storage. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like me, I like my applesauce. I mean, I'll eat it chunky. Hey, Alfonso, welcome in. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. We are talking about all things apples, Alfonso. So I'm going to give you now a list of apples that are really good for storage. And it's really funny because I can remember all the way back when I worked in the schools. It was my very first year at an elementary school. And I was in the kindergarten class, and it was the beginning of the year, and all the kids were supposed to bring in an apple because it was pretty much a math lesson, right? And we were doing comparison of, small, round, the color, how many of each. So and it was counting skills. It was a math concept that we were learning. Sherry, I can't remember her name, but her first name was Barbara. She was a kindergarten teacher over at the schools we worked at. Can't think of her name. Anyhow, so the Gala apple, and it was so funny because when we talked about the Gala apple, the little girl, to this day, I still remember all these years later, when the teacher asked her what color it was, she looked at her apple and she goes, "It's a rainbow apple." So now, all these years later, whenever I see a Gala apple, which is an apple I absolutely love, I can't help but think of this little girl back in kindergarten loving her apple because it was a rainbow apple. So, isn't that cute? Anyhow, Gala apples are good for storage. One of my favorite apples, excuse me, Honeycrisp is another really good storage apple. The Honeycrisp does last a long time. I think it would outlast the Gala. I think the one apple, it's on the list, but I don't think it holds up well in storage, and that's my personal opinion, is the Red Delicious. I don't know if it's, I know, right? Yeah. I don't know if it's the sprays they put on them or whatever they do to these apples. The Red Delicious does not hold up as well as Gala and Honeycrisp. The Empire apple, I don't know what the Empire apple is. I don't think I've ever had one, so I'm not really sure. Then there's the Jonathan apple. I like the Jonathan apple. That's pretty decent apple. Yeah, I like it. Portland apple is another really good storage one. And the Jonna Gold apple is another really good storage apple. Do you store apples at your house for the winter? Do you have like a cold room where you store things or anything like that? Let me know in the comments below. I did. I was at Dollar Tree yesterday, and they had a bunch of fall stuff in. Yeah, I don't store apples either. I only store them if I'm canning or in the freezer. I got some cute little pot holders. I don't really need anything for fall. Well, Alfonso, my guess is they peel the apple, they boil the apple. You have to have a soft apple, and then they probably stir it and crush it down until they get the consistency that they want. So yeah. I see. So you're saying the train would make the applesauce because they would smash it. That's funny. That's funny. So yeah. So do you have any questions about apples? I don't know if that crisp isn't going to be done. It's going to take a little bit longer to cook, but that's okay. I'm thinking. So I will read. So I had talked about apple cider, and I told you this is all printed out. I know, huh? This is all printed out and will be posted over on my blog. So you're going to want to take about 10 large apples and you want to cut them and quarter them. And you're going to put them in a big stock pot and you're going to cover that. Make sure that the apples are covered in water, like up to 2 inches. And then you are going to bring it to a boil in a stock pot. Let me back up. So once you get all the apples in, you're going to add 1 tablespoon of cinnamon and 1 tablespoon of ground allspice. Now, and 3/4 cups of sugar. Now, if you don't have like allspice, that's okay. Add some cinnamon, add some cloves, just add a little extra cinnamon. It's not going to hurt, trust me. And then just add some cloves into the water. And you're going to simmer that uncovered for a good hour. You're going to boil that for a good hour. And then once it's been an hour, you're going to turn it down on simmer and you're going to simmer it again on low for another 2 to 3 hours. Once your apples and the spices are all simmered together for the couple of hours, you then will take a fine mesh sieve and you're going to strain it through a fine mesh sieve. And that is going to collect the cloves and all that out of there, right? So you don't want that going into your cider. Then, this is optional. I don't know if you need to do it, but then if you have cheesecloth, so you've removed the cloves and everything out, right? Now with a cheesecloth, what you can do is put it back over the cheesecloth over like the fine mesh sieve, and you can take your liquid again, the apple cider, and pour it through just to get out any little bits if you want. I don't think it's necessary, but you could do that if you want. And your apple cider's done. And you can serve it warm, hot, or stored in the refrigerator and to drink, later on. And that's how you make apple cider. That's one of the ways to make apple cider. I think there's more than one way that you can make apple cider. That's all I can say. So with that, do you guys have any questions? Did you want to wait around and see that apple crisp come out? It's baking. I have it in the oven. It's baking. It's been in there for what? Maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes? Does anybody know what time I put that in? I wasn't paying attention. I put it in, it was 3. So, Alfonso, I can tell you I've never done that, but I've heard of it before, apple and peanut butter. That's always a good snack, apples and peanut butter. It's a healthy snack too, but yeah. Anybody have any questions? Want to talk about anything else? So I have, bananas and peanut butter, right? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what's really funny. In the Amish community, you guys may think I'm crazy, and I thought it was crazy when I first heard of it. They take peanut butter and they add marshmallow to it, like a marshmallow fluff. And I thought, oh my gosh, that just doesn't even sound right. But I gotta tell you, that marshmallow fluff stuff that they make is absolutely delicious on bread or a dinner roll. I don't know what it is, but it is so good. And you would just have to try it. It's really good. And I absolutely loved it. And so I don't make it, But when I go up there, like I have my event coming up in a couple of weeks, so I will probably pick some up. We're going to a farm and having lunch up there. And so I'll probably, they sell, if I remember, they will, did you hear Buddy running through? Yep. I'll probably pick some up. It's good. And it's a traditional thing. Actually, they have on Sundays after their church service. It is something that they have and they serve after their church service. They always have a light meal, and that is always included in the light meal. Interesting. No, I have not. I know I've heard of peanut butter and banana sandwiches. That I have heard of, but never the butter, like peanut butter and butter on a sandwich. I've never had that. Yeah, try it. So all you can do is try it, and if you don't like it, that's okay, right? So I have some things. I went yesterday to Dollar Tree, as I said, and oops, I had to pick up some envelopes and some stuff. I have some things to get mailed out, and so for those of you who didn't know, I have I finally learned how to rehydrate my sourdough starter that I had personally dehydrated. I put it in my dehydrator because I want to save it, right? Because what if I need bread or something? So anyhow, I thought to myself, why not? And I don't know if I'm going to use these. So I thought to myself, why not sell the dehydrated part? I finally figured out how to rehydrate it. And I found these little plastic bags at the Dollar Tree, but I don't know if I want to use those. I know what I'm looking for, but I thought if I put the stuff in here, dehydrate it, and then it needs to go into another bag with the label on it. So, yeah. So what was that, Alfonso? My brother-in-law hates farmers and ranchers because he says that they're always whine and complain. Okay. Well, that's a shame that your brother-in-law feels that way. Maybe he should go get to know his farmers better. Right? So I got those yesterday at the Dollar Tree. And then I bought something else, but I don't want to show on here because it's actually for somebody. It's actually for somebody, for a channel. And I don't want to show that, but I can tell you this, I'm smelling the apple crisp right now. It's really starting to smell, and it smells absolutely divine. I don't know if I can, there you go. Hey, I just learned a new thing. I can pull up these comments by clicking on them. So that's a really great thing. There you go. Thanks, Wills, for sharing that. Well, Alfonso, again, there's nothing, yeah, I got nothing to say to your brother-in-law. Does he realize where his food comes from is the question. Because if it wasn't for the farmers and ranchers, he wouldn't be eating that steak on his plate. So, what else did I wanted to show you today? I think that's it. If you would just give me 1 second, I'm actually going to check the share. Did you notice what time, your time, I put that apple crisp in by chance? It should be almost done. If you guys could hang on just a couple more minutes, I'll try and find more stuff to talk about. I'm going to run into the kitchen though. I do want to get my laptop because there is something when I was doing some research, I just wanted to talk to you about. So it was 3:15. So it's been in there about 20, 25 minutes, and it's only half of it. So I'm thinking that it's not going to take as long to bake as a full one, right? Wouldn't that make sense? Because the full one was like almost up to an hour. So I'm thinking this is only going to take maybe 30 minutes. So, and it's been what, 20, 23 minutes. So I'm just going to take a peek really quick at it, friends, and I'll be right back because I want to show you what it looks like. Yep, I just burnt my hand. I was putting the fork in there and I burnt my hand. I don't know if you can see right there. See that white mark? It touched the top of the oven. So it's almost done. It's getting really soft. So it's just about finished. And so I think it's going to be, we'll be able to taste it together. And again, I will have the recipe for you over on my blog. I'll try and link it to in my community tab, but I can't completely promise you that. So let me go see here. I'm trying to look for something I wanted to read to you, but I didn't. So what's really interesting is that all right, here we go. We're going to keep this simple. We're going to keep this really simple. No, I don't like that one. So if you go up to the History Channel, you will find a lot of information in the history of the apple. But it talks about where, you know, where they originated from. And I can't seem to find that link anymore, and I wanted to share that with you, but so it's one of the things. Do you remember an apple a day keeps the doctor away? So I'm going to tell you this. I always, whenever I worked out of the house, and especially in the schools, an apple was a huge part of our lunch every single day. We'd always have an apple in my lunch. And I used to kid around like an apple a day will keep the doctor away. But you know what, guys? It's absolutely true. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. I wasn't sick and I used to eat apple every single day. So there's your thing. So let's see. It says a brief history of apples. Do you always have a piece of fruit for your lunch? Well, it's probably an apple. This is true particularly in places in Western Europe, where apples have grown for hundreds of years. So it would be easy to assume that they came from originally. I have to highlight it, guys. In fact, though the fruit we know today has been an extraordinary journey over the centuries, research suggests that the modern apples originally came all the way from, I'm not going to pronounce this, I don't know how to say it. It's Kaza, Kazakhstan in Asia, and ended up in Europe, partly because of people carrying goods along the famous Silk Road from Western Europe all the way to China in the East. This helped to spread apples in both regions, which I believe, because if you're eating an apple, right, and you're just tossing it when you're done, those seeds are being planted along the way where you're tossing. So that makes sense. And right here we go. People threw down their apples after they finished eating them, and the seeds entered the ground and produced new types of apple trees. Farmers were able to start developing a much wider range of apples. So there's a little fun fact for you. So the apples originated from Asia and made its way through Western Europe and expanded by those traveling the road would have an apple, they would drop it, and then those apples would turn into trees, kind of like Johnny Appleseed, right? And I haven't read that Johnny Appleseed book in a long time because I'm not in the school anymore, but I do have that book, believe it or not. So that's a fun little history, don't you think, there? I always try to, yeah, I'm so glad you all are talking and everything. That's awesome. So let me see. What else? Here, well, that's Stark Brothers. Stark Brothers is a seed company that you can buy trees from, different types of trees. Thank you, Rudy. 244. 244. Thank you. So, yeah. So there's your little history and some information on history. And so when I researched that name, that Kazakhstan, that came up in several different searches that I did, and it all has been saying the same. It says apples have been a part of human experience since the beginning of human history, which is true, right? Apples have been found as part of the diet of early humans. They researched and recorded the story of Adam and Eve. Greek and Roman mythology refer to apple as symbols of love and beauty. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So it is. So here's some history about who brought apples to America. Okay. Well, they say it's not known if the settlers of Jamestown had apple trees, but the pilgrims who settled in modern Massachusetts in 1620 brought young apples from England and planted seedling orchards throughout New England. Well, yeah, that makes sense, right? They had somebody brought in here. I mean, that would make sense, in my opinion. So here's some interesting fun facts to know. And then I think my apple cranberry crisp should be done. And I should have got vanilla ice cream today, but I did not. Apples make up half the world's fruit trees. Did you know that? In production. There's over 2,500 varieties of apples that are grown in the United States, which is why some of them that I had called out today, I didn't even know about or had heard of, right? Apples contain malic acid. Apple pie is not American. That's what it says here. Apples are high in fiber. A bushel of apples weighs about 42 pounds. Apples are 25% air. So just think when we eat an apple, we eat 25% of it is air that we're eating. That's interesting, right? Well, I'm not going to go into that. So we won't talk about that, but we will talk about the health benefits from eating an apple. So there's 5 different benefits that you can benefit from if you eat apples. 1, it protects your heart. 2, it boosts your brain's health. 3, it may help you lose weight. 4, it lowers the risk of being a type 2 diabetes. And 5, it fights cancer. That's what it says. It fights cancer. So those are 5 great reasons. And that comes from, what's the site I'm looking at? I'm not sure exactly the site, but they're showing a peanut butter on an apple. But yeah, they can, those are 5 great reasons why we should eat. Yeah, right. Eat apples. There's a lot of benefits. So listen to this, and we all know this if we're gardeners. The only apples native to North America are crab apples. Apple cultivators brought as seeds from Europe were spread along Native American trade routes, as well as being cultivated on colonial farms. So there you go. The only one that is a native to the U.S. would be a crab apple. And There you go. So there is my little history on apples. I think it was fun to learn a lot about apples. How about, shall we go back to the kitchen and go pull out the cranberry apple crisp and see if it's done? Would you like to do that? Come on with me. I'm gonna unhook you and take you with me. So here we go. Oh my goodness, I'm in my kitchen. It smells absolutely delicious in here right now. I'm trying to get you up here. And of course, when you're doing something live, the camera doesn't want to work, right? And I got to try and get you hooked back up. Sorry about that, friends. All right. I am going to move my mess. Look, look, look. Let's get real. This is real life. Look at how messy that is. That's okay. Well worth it. Dinner's easy tonight because I have leftovers. But what I'm going to do is just move everything out of my way. I'm going to go grab the apple crisp and we are going to take a look at it together. And if it's not ready, friends, we're going to call it a day, but let me go check it out. There you go, friends. It smells amazing. I think it still needs a little more time. And I say that because all the juices are coming out and it does need to thicken up a little bit more. But for the sake of being live on TV, yeah, I'm going to pull out some and put it on the plate. We're going to pull the camera up. I'm going to let you know how it is. I hope you had fun today. I hope this was fun. Something different. I think I need a little more topping. More of that crumb on here. Let's see what we got. So I got a cranberry and nope. So I got cranberry, apple, and a piece of the crumb topping. It's going to be very, very hot. Here we go. Here we go. It's tart. It's sweet. It's just delicious. Guys, it's so delicious. You need to make this. I know it's not done, so I'm gonna pop this back in the oven. I'm telling you, I promise you, you will not be sorry that you made this. This is one of the best cranberry apple crumb I've made. And we're gonna go put it back in the oven. And I hope you had some fun learning about apples, all the different types of variety of apples, a little history of apples, and we got to make an cranberry apple or an apple cranberry crumble today. Hey, Annie's Place. Welcome in. So yeah, so guys, I'm not kidding you when I tell you it's delicious. But that the apples are crunchy still. I forget that I have the microphone on, so you can hear me too. Yeah, I'm going to put this back in the oven probably for about another 30 minutes. There's probably a lot of juices in here too because I did put it in a smaller pan. But hey, friends, I hope you had fun with me today. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if this is something you would like to see maybe once a month. And I would be happy to come up with different recipes to do. Yeah, you don't have to put the cranberries in there. You can omit the cranberries. So yeah, I just have a ton of cranberries that I need to use before I store up some new ones for this year that are going to be coming in soon. So, oh, Mary, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I just thought I would do something a little bit different and just do more interactive stuff and maybe teach something if possible. So, hey, thanks for sharing out. Thanks for hanging in here with me for, I don't know what time it is. Probably almost 4. It's been about an hour and a half now. I'm not sure. I had fun. We're going to have a delicious dessert tonight. And I want to thank everybody for being here. Thanks to the mods who were in here putting out links and getting information. Remind you guys, I'm going to list the recipe and everything over on my blog, which Share It Tell Us Treasure has already shared in this group. And I will see you on my next video and my next live. All right, friends, take care. Bye, everyone. Be blessed.